All right, so for today's free website review, we're taking a look at Set for Dinner, which seems to offer private chef services in the Connecticut area. So let's see how this website looks, feels, and performs. Let's get into it. Okay, so we land on the home page. We have the header here, hero section. We shop, we cook, we clean, you eat. Personal and private chefs CT. I'm guessing that's Connecticut. Get a full menu proposal within 24 hours. Love this. It's great. Right off the bat, I know exactly what you're offering, what you're selling, how I benefit, and you have a clear call to action that tells me what I will get within a certain time frame. Perfect. Love the image too. High quality and makes me super hungry. Scrolling down, looking for a personal private chef near you. Set for dinner. Well, you need to capitalize that, but Set for Dinner caters to all of Connecticut. Yeah, so private chefs in Connecticut. Dinner just got easier. A lot of text here. I would recommend if you could kind of break up these little paragraphs, 1, 2, 3, kind of, and show them, present them in 3 columns, 1, 2, 3, with maybe like a little icon, something simple to kind of capture the attention a little more. If people just kind of, if you ever get to a section like this and it's nothing but text, there better be a good reason for it. It better be very compelling text. Meal prep, nice images. Yeah, enjoy healthy and delicious pre-made meals ready to be reheated. Choose your plan. Love it. Clear call to actions. Dinner, parties, cooking classes. Click here. It's so worth it. I don't know if I would do double exclamation marks, but special diets. Yeah, the home page is doing what it should. You're sectioning off into each additional page based on what someone might be interested in. Special diets. Maybe I'm celiac or vegan. I like it. A few words from our clients. So there's no indication that you can scroll these. I just kind of assumed you could because I could tell this site was made with WordPress and Elementor. So I would like to have some kind of arrows on the side here, or maybe some pagination dots on the bottom. The text doesn't really pop. The dark blue text with the image here, it's a bit, yeah, it blends in a little too much. So you can either darken the image and make the text white, or maybe choose a different image and text combo. This doesn't quite work for me. It needs to pop a little more. Meet the chefs. Oh, I like the style of image with the little, it's kind of like a rough cut. Very simple. No one wants to read a whole page of about us. This is great. Just a little paragraph. Tells me exactly why I should believe that your food is delicious. Our work. Love it. These are fantastic quality images. Although they seem a little blurry when I click on it, so that's an issue. They actually look clearer. Like, look at this. This is high resolution, and then when I click on it, it blurs up. So you have some image dimensions settings to fix here, because you want the resolution to be maintained. You don't want this blurriness, because these are great quality photos, and this is exactly what you should do if you're offering food service. I love this. Man, I'm hungry. And we get to the footer. Okay, so this is broken. I'm assuming this is supposed to be your logo, but it's just a block template image. And then it says powered by Elementor, courtesy of Set for Dinner. I don't know. You don't need to say it's powered by Elementor. No need for that. Don't need to give Elementor more credit than is due. Then we have the menus here. Yeah, I love it. Very simple. Take 5 minutes, save 5 hours, free consultation. That is a great call to action. Take 5 minutes, save 5 hours. Beautiful. Great homepage on desktop. A look real quick at your services page. It seems like your main service is meal preparations, dinner solved. So again, similar to what I mentioned before, a whole wall of text. It'd be great if you could break this up a little bit. I like the bullet points, kind of makes it more digestible, easy to read, more scannable. But yeah, some more icons to kind of break it up would be great. Pricing. Yeah, this is a little confusing. Perhaps if you could break these up into 3 or 4 columns across, rather than just a list of text. This is not easy to understand. Pricing especially has to be easily scannable and understandable really quickly, and I find this quite challenging. Yeah, oh, here you go. Something like this, but with pricing. So these are Sample menus. Okay. A lot of text. I wonder, I know it'd be too much to add an image for each of these dishes, but yeah, I like how it's spaced out. It is easier to read. But if you could do something like this with the pricing box and make it more obvious as to what the different pricing points are, that would be awesome. But yeah, this is a lot to go through. I would look at ways to, I like the call to action at the end. Maybe try to think of ways of how you could break this up. Maybe you can break up the list of items into categories. So I know you have it kind of main proteins, vegetables, but maybe with vegetables, you can break these up into different categories of like subcategories of vegetables, subcategories of sides, subcategories of proteins. Kind of break it down a little bit as if you would with an actual menu at a restaurant. Subcategories for each one, I think, would make it easier to understand. But other than that, and the pricing, yeah, I think you can break that up a little bit and make it a little more obvious. About page, yeah, I don't think this is necessary. You just have a wall of text here. I would take whatever your this limited about content is, you could work it into the home page somehow, or even the bottom close to the footer. FAQs. Yep, that's good. Simple FAQs. And contact. So I guess this is your main call to action. You want people to contact you and you'll get them a free menu proposal within 24 hours. Clear CTA, love it. Easy to find contact info, map and everything. Well done. Overall, it's very well done. Some room for improvement, of course, but I do love the call to actions, especially clear, concise, and the value proposition is, you can see it right away. Okay, let's take a look at what the site looks like on mobile. We're gonna do it from an iPhone 6, 7, 8 Plus running iOS 11. Kind of scroll this down a little bit. So here's what happens when you load the page. So this is a problem. The menu icon being super tiny and off on the left over here. I don't like that. I would like it to be much bigger because remember, people are tapping on it with their fingers. And I'd like it to be centered. You can either center it with the logo right underneath here, or you can left align the logo and stick this menu icon up here in the top right corner and make it nice and big and obvious. The drop down looks good. The text can be, oh, that's too small. Yeah, you need to make the text bigger. Remember, people are tapping with their fingers. I want to make it super easy so they're not accidentally touching on things they don't want to. Other than that, this looks good. Very responsive. The background image looks fantastic with this call to action. Again, just making me super hungry. Same thing. Too much text. I would break this up with some icons. But other than that, things look quite responsive. It looks good. Yeah, you want to change that text and image combo as we talked about before. But definitely, other than that, things are looking really good. Fixed the images, the resolution there, of course. Very responsive. Awesome. Issue with the logo. Yeah, I'd probably make the footer text here, the menus just a little bit bigger. Maybe even divide them with a line underneath, just to, again, make it easier for people with their fingers. Because this is running on an iPhone 6, 7, 8 Plus, but some people have the normal iPhone that's much smaller, so smaller screens. Or smaller Android phones. But other than that, looks really good on mobile. Most things are very responsive. This is the biggest issue with the menu, but everything else looks awesome. You have done a great job. Yeah, this looks good too. I love the images. So important. You got professional photos done. That's great. But yeah, everything's responsive. Great job. Okay, so let's take a brief look at your SEO strategy. So obviously it's a limited look. I can only look at certain things based on the front end, but there is definitely some great things you've done with inserting keywords naturally. Looking for a personal private chef near you, including local locations because you're a local business offering a local service. I think even just little things up here though. I'm looking at your services. So you've basically made personal and private chef CT the main keywords for every page. So I wouldn't do that. Maybe do that for your home page. Each page on your site should have a different target keyword, because otherwise you're going to start getting cannibalization, where basically your own pages are competing for each other for the same keyword. So for each of your services, these are different services, right? So they should be different keywords, different targets, different markets, different audience, different type of customer. And so you want to think of each of your services page as a dedicated landing page, because most people that land on your site are not going to land on your homepage. They're going to land through, if it's through SEO or even through social media ads, they're going to be landing on landing pages that are targeted towards what they're interested in, what your product or service is, what you're selling. So they're going to be landing on your services pages. Not necessarily, very rarely, the vast majority of my traffic, 90-95% doesn't even come to the homepage. A lot of it is through the dedicated landing pages for the dedicated services that I have. So you want to do it that way. I've noticed your header image for your dinner party seems to be broken. You definitely want to fix that. But if you can think of each of your pages as being kind of a funnel and really optimizing your keywords for each of those pages, and really keeping them separate, not using the same personal and private chef CT for every single page, because that's going to cause competition and damage between your pages. Okay, let's take a look at your website's performance now. We're going to run your site through GT Metrics. It's my favorite performance scanner, performance optimization tool. It'll break down exactly what does and doesn't work for your website performance, your loading speeds. Okay, here are the results for your home page. We'll just analyze that for now rather than every single page, but definitely some room for improvement. So your performance seems to be quite low. I'm getting a D score. Structure looks good, and so this can cause some confusion. Because basically it looks like what it's saying is you did a great job structuring your website, but you're still not performing well. But what's beautiful about GT Metrics is that you can break it down with a waterfall and see exactly which files and which pieces of your website are taking the longest to load and perform. So really good TTFB, which is time to first byte. So really good response from whatever server you're using, whatever hosting you're using. That's a good first response. That's good to see. Overall summary down here. So it says it took 3.1 seconds to load. That is good, for sure. If it's actually 3 seconds, that's a good loading time. But there's always room for improvement, especially with a site or page that's 1.5 megabytes. That's pretty good as well, especially with all the images that you have on there, which high quality images. So that's well done. You've kept the page size quite low, but your page requests are very high. 80 is too high for that size of page. What you're doing, a lot of it is JavaScript and CSS. So, which is interesting. You've done a great job of keeping the images optimized. You only have half a meg. So kudos to that, but too much JavaScript and CSS, that's going to slow your site down. So performance, like I said, time to first byte is first contentful page, time to interactive, all good. Speed index is too long. Total blocking time is too long. So there's scripts that are blocking loading, and of course the LCP, largest contentful paint, is too long. So let's look at the waterfall and see where the issues are. So these are all the files on this page, on your home page. So far, so good. It's optimal. I don't actually know what that is. Maybe is that a CDN you're using? It's got a lot of JavaScript loading. A lot of JavaScript. Most of it is going to be through Elementor. I'm wondering what kind of caching you're using. Yeah, most of it is Elementor. But I'm feeling like a lot of this stuff is unnecessary, or you can defer it. I would love to know what caching you're using, because that would help me greatly to kind of optimize it for you. CSS. There's nothing glaring. There's nothing there's no obvious wow, this is taking half a second, a full second a blockage or to respond. There's nothing like that. It's just too many requests. So I would like to see, I love WP Rocket. I like using caching plugins that you can defer JavaScript and CSS and inline it as well to reduce the amount of requests. And WP Rocket, a lot of caching plugins, will do that automatically for you, but I find some of them will often break your site, and it kind of gets messy trying to figure out deferring or inlining which ones broke my site. WP Rocket is the best caching plugin I've found so far. But again, size of the site, you've done a great job of keeping it small. So overall, while there is room for improvement in reducing the amount of page requests. That's what I'm seeing here. And that'll drastically reduce your LCP and even your TBT, because TBT is often longer because of blockage, because there's so many scripts trying to load at the same time or waiting for others to load that it's kind of bottlenecking. So if you could reduce the amount of page requests, this will improve dramatically, because even with all those page requests, you're still getting a 3.1 second load time, which is great. But yeah, reduce your page requests and you will be good to go, especially important for mobile, because this is only testing for desktop. Because I haven't paid for the pro version, you can test mobile because I'm cheap. Anyways, that's my review of setfordinner.com. I hope you found it valuable, guys. And stay tuned for the next one. Take care.